Today marks exactly to the day 1 year since the Government of National Unity took office at the Ministry of Home Affairs. It is therefore apt for us to start by reflecting on just how far we have already come in these past 12 months. It has indeed been a year of remarkable progress for the entire Home Affairs ecosystem. What makes it even more striking is that we have managed to achieve this progress together in the very department that has often been derided as the epitome of government failure. When I assumed this office chair a year ago, most people responded by calling it a poisoned chalice. When we started mapping our 5-year vision to deliver Home Affairs at home through digital transformation, some called it pie in the sky. Today, I am here to confidently report back to this House that the progress we have made over the past 12 months by working as one team with one dream has exceeded the expectations of those cynics and of optimists alike. Here are just a few highlights from this past year. We cleared a backlog of over 306,000 visa applications dating back more than a decade. We produced and delivered just under 3.6 million smart IDs, surpassing the previous annual record by nearly 500,000. We deployed advanced drone and body camera technology at the border for the first time, leading to an increase of up to 215% in the detection and prevention of attempted illegal border crossings. We launched Operation New Broom as part of an intensified focus on restoring the rule of law, contributing to over 46,000 deportations, the highest figure in more than 5 years, and more deportations than countries like France and Germany combined. We launched the Trusted Tour Operator Scheme to boost tourism from the major source markets of China and India, where South Africa has underperformed for many years. We recognized Muslim marriages on Home Affairs marriage certificates for the very first time. We enabled over 1.4 million naturalized citizens and permanent residents to apply for and obtain secure smart IDs for the very first time. We activated the Immigration Advisory Board for the first time in a decade by appointing a diverse group of seasoned experts to help shape better policies. And this group is led by Chairperson Mavuso Msimang. We dismissed 37 crooked officials and launched the dedicated Border Management and Immigration Anti-Corruption Forum that brings together law enforcement, the Special Investigating Unit, the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigations, and the National Prosecuting Authority to ensure that corrupt officials and fraudsters are put behind bars where they belong. Our anti-corruption work has led to the conviction of 8 of these offenders, with sentences ranging from 4 to 18 years in prison. And in that same 12 months, we built a working prototype of the electronic travel authorization system that will digitalize the visa process from beginning to end, eliminating corruption and inefficiency altogether. Honourable members, if this is what Home Affairs could do in just 1 year, imagine what we can do in 5. Already, the reforms that are underway at the Department of Home Affairs, the Border Management Authority, and Government Printing Works is rendering these organizations unrecognizably better. And the reforms we will deliver in the next 12 months will begin to redefine the quality of services that South Africans should expect from their government. All of these reforms are ultimately guided by one apex priority, which is to use digital transformation to deliver Home Affairs at home. The end point of all of these reforms and everything that we will discuss today, Chair, is to enable both South Africans and legitimate visitors to apply and obtain enabling documents online, including in digital format, from the comfort of their own homes. Let's start with immigration. By the end of September this year, we will begin the rollout of the digital ETA system for tourist visas, starting with travelers arriving by air at OR Tambo and Cape Town international airports. Over time, the ETA will be expanded to more visa categories and rolled out at more ports of entry. The scale-up of this project will continue until no person can enter South Africa without first obtaining a digital visa through the ETA. The days of pieces of paper, the days of handwritten visa documents are coming to an end before our eyes because we are tired of corruption, we are tired of fraud, and we are tired of illegal immigration. This ETA system completely eliminates the space for interference, for corruption, or for delays by using machine learning and the latest technology to automate application, adjudication, and communication of all visa processes. To make the ETA work optimally, we must also link it to all ports of entry so that no person can enter our country unless their biometrics are recorded and match those on their applications. No more fake passports, no more fake documents. We will use technology to defeat this scourge. All of this will be supported by the supplementary white paper on citizenship, immigration, and refugee protection to create a fit-for-purpose policy framework to embed this digital transformation and anti-corruption reforms. We know we can do this. We know we can deliver the ETA because of how much we've already achieved in this space. Sometimes when numbers speak for themselves, it's best not to interrupt. 17,000. That's the number of Chinese and Indian tourists who have obtained visas to visit our shores just since February 2025, after we tailor-made the online trusted tour operator scheme to cater to the preference of tourists in these two source markets who often travel in groups. 1,230 is the number of estimated jobs created just by these TTOS tourists, using Operation Vulindlela's research, which shows that one new job is created for every 13 tourists who visit South Africa. 65 is the small number of tour operators that have joined TTOS during the first phase of its rollout, and yet this is what we've already achieved. 246 is the number of software engineers that have been accepted into the country by just one company via the Trusted Employer Scheme that allows qualifying companies to verify documents of skilled workers they wish to bring to South Africa, shortening the adjudication process. 147, that's the number of nuclear engineers that were brought in by Eskom to restore the Koeberg nuclear power station, stabilizing the national electricity grid and directly contributing to positive economic activity. And it is Home Affairs reforms that facilitated that skill coming into South Africa. 71 is the number of companies that are currently participating in the Trusted Employer Scheme, ranging from car manufacturers, mines, banks, service industries, and telecommunications. It is also my pleasure to announce to this House today that we have completed the second intake for the Trusted Tour Operator Scheme, with another 45 companies selected to bring even more tourists to our shores through this secure digital visa system. And after demonstrating the electronic travel authorization to President Cyril Ramaphosa recently, I can confirm, Chair, that we are on track to launch this world-class innovation by the end of September to coincide with the G20 leaders meeting later this year. This ETA will not only revolutionize the security and efficiency of South Africa's visa system. The fact that we are launching it at this major moment for our country around the G20 is a signal of our country's ascendance to a new level on the global stage, as a country that is forward-looking and that embraces the power of digital transformation to resolve societal challenges. In the age of AI, the need for governments to build digital public infrastructure has never been more urgent to ensure that South Africa does not get left behind in this emerging new world. And Home Affairs is proud to be at the forefront of this effort. The same digital transformation strategy that is set to drive much greater access and inclusion for immigration is set to do the same for civic services in South Africa, while also dramatically improving the quality of these services. Over the next year, South Africans will gain access to Home Affairs services in many more locations. The department is finalizing the technical and administrative arrangements to dramatically expand the highly successful pilot project that has provided smart ID and passport services in 30 bank branches for almost a decade. It is now time to expand and build on that. Through digital transformation, we will make Home Affairs services accessible through banks' IT platforms, enabling these services to be provided ultimately at 1,000 bank branches, as envisaged by the medium-term development plan. Honourable members, imagine what it means for South Africa if suddenly you have 1,000 more locations where you can obtain these services. Shorter queues, more options, better services. But the best part is that this same process will also culminate in making Home Affairs services available digitally through the same online banking applications that South Africans already use to buy electricity, data, and renew a vehicle license. Before we speak again at such a budget debate, honourable members, you will see the Home Affairs logo on your smartphone. Honourable Chair, we are also investing in the foundation of all of this work, and that involves investments to upgrade the National Population Register. This database is foundational to every single government service and every single private sector service in our country. But for more than a decade since a verification service was launched to use the NPR for these purposes, the underpricing of the NPR's verification service has deprived Home Affairs of the resources required to upgrade and maintain this system. This underinvestment has led to a situation where more than half of all verification requests now fail altogether, directly threatening government services like social grant delivery and the financial services sector. The cost of this system being offline can be measured, and it tells a scary story. During the past 5 years of the previous administration, 41,000 working hours were lost because the National Population Register was down, overwhelmed, and lacking investment. This is 4 times more than the working hours lost at Home Affairs due to load shedding. Just imagine the impact, honourable members. That is why the department has now built substantial upgrades to this verification service and has gazetted a new price structure that sets a cost-reflective price for real-time verifications during peak hours at 10 Rand, while introducing an off-peak, low-cost alternative for batch transactions costing just 1 Rand. We have not adjusted this pricing structure out of malice. We have done it in the national interest. And I can report today that it is already working as intended. In the past, it cost 15 cents to use this critical government service. It was literally taking money away from the state's ability to upgrade the service, and it was forcing taxpayers to subsidize it. We have ended that. Now, as a result of that, I can report that we have already successfully onboarded government's entire justice cluster to this new upgraded verification service. This includes key public sector entities like the South African Social Security Administration, the South African Police Service, and the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. Chair, whereas previously 50% of the verifications failed completely and the other half usually took up to 24 hours to respond, I can report that government's own justice cluster is now successfully processing over 180,000 transactions per day through our new service, and it consistently delivers results in less than 1 second. That is what we are building. Additionally, 3 major private sector users have already transitioned onto this new service as well. One private sector user has already, since it went live on the 1st of July, processed over 1 million records through the new off-peak option that would previously all have gone into the real-time queue, and that would have caused the system to go offline. That reform is directly contributing to a more stable national population register for all users. Taken together, These reforms are set to improve service delivery and reduce waiting times at Home Affairs offices, while also providing South Africans with many more options to obtain critical enabling documents. Another key element of implementing Home Affairs at home is to enable doorstep courier delivery of enabling documents to applicants. This service is already being designed and will rely on cutting-edge facial recognition technology to ensure we deliver the right document to the rightful owner every single time, while eliminating the need for you to stand in a queue just to collect an ID or a passport. These reforms all lay down markers on our road towards building South Africa's first ever digital ID system. We are creating a policy foundation for digital ID that will allow the department to shift its paper-based documents and services onto digital platforms. The policy will also enable the framework to verify such documents and create the space for the safe use of digital ID. The department will then be able to issue and verify e-passports, e-birth certificates, and digital IDs. This year, we will send the draft digital identity policy to Cabinet for approval to conduct public hearings. At a technology level, the department is now working closely with the South African Reserve Bank, which is a certification authority, to develop a robust digital identity system based on facial recognition. Honourable Chairperson, I am tabling a budget of 11 billion rand for the Department of Home Affairs, whose baseline increases by 231 million in 2025-26, 1.2 billion in 26-27, and 369 million in 27-28 to fund mainly the Border Management Authority and the 2026 local government elections. I must stress that the 2025-26 budget for the Border Management Authority is just 1.7 billion rand, growing only to 1.8 billion rand next year and 1.9 billion in 2027-28. This is clearly and completely inadequate for the BMA, and we are considering other revenue streams to support the BMA to ensure that they secure our borders for development. But we need the support of this House to make sure we adequately capacitate this important institution. The Independent Electoral Commission has been provided with additional funding of 885 million rand in 2026-27 to cover costs associated with the 2026 local government elections. Their budget is 2.1 billion rand for this financial year. Honourable Chair, I believe that Home Affairs is on the most exciting reform journey our democracy has ever seen. We are guided in everything we do by our apex priority of digital transformation, and this clear focus is enabling us to systematically solve problems that have plagued our country for many years. If we can make Home Affairs work better, we will restore the hope that all of South Africa can work better. The work that we do in Home Affairs is important because we also want to help raise expectations. Home Affairs delivered during the first year of this administration, and we are determined to make our second year even more impactful by delivering the exciting innovations I have described today. But the most important point is that if we can do it, then so can others. And citizens must begin to demand from political leaders that we move with greater urgency to implement modernization and reform. In fact, probably the single greatest thing holding South Africa back is complacency and a lack of urgency in the face of tremendous challenges. At Team Home Affairs, we are working to defeat complacency and to embrace urgency, because the reforms that South Africa needs to prosper cannot be delayed a day longer. It is this commitment to do the hard work together that sets Home Affairs apart. With every day that passes, we take another collective step towards achieving our goal of using digital transformation to deliver dignity for all. I thank you.
DA at Work, rescuing South Africa.